No, I'm yeah. I got my daughter to tell this alarm thing. It's just a small on a key ring. It's just pulled in. That thing is loud. It's loud and it flashes lights and it's. I mean, it drives the dog crazy.
Can I just say that? See, that way I can dog myself better.
Me too. Yeah. Don't tell them. There you go.
Good evening, everyone. I'm calling the meeting of the regular meeting of South Lebanon City Council to order August 1st, 2024 at 6:00 p.m.
Allen,
Present.
Carmack,
Present.
Combs,
Present.
Fetter, Harrison,
Present.
Spicer.
Present.
Could you please all rise for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Bless our country and our community. Protect our military and all first responders. Let us work together respectfully for the good of our citizens and community. Thank you for your grace. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. As I said, like I said before, I want to introduce to you, we have some special guests here tonight. Judge Gary Loxley and Judge Joe, right? Rob. Why did I call you Joe? Rob Fisher. And they are our county court judges. So if you'd like to.
The floor is ours?
Yeah, the
Okay,
floor
well,
is yours.
Thank you very much, Mayor and members of council. Good evening. On behalf of the entire Warren County Court staff, thank you for allowing me and Judge Fisher to come out this evening and give you this presentation. We were last here 2 years ago, and we kind of invited ourselves to come back and give you an update on what's going on in the Warren County Court, and we're happy to be here. I'm going to give the first half of the presentation. You can see we have a slideshow presentation, and Judge Fisher will give the second half. So Jerry, next slide. I enlisted Mr. Haddix as my slide flipper this evening. You can see those the two of us there. I have the northern half of the county known as Area 1, and Judge Fisher has the southern half of the county. This is where we are right here, the South Lebanon area, and the Area 2 docket. When you think of the Warren County Court, you say, well, Warren County, that covers all of Warren County, right? No, the Warren County Court only has a limited jurisdiction. We're only part of Warren County. It's kind of a misnomer. There are 3 municipal courts, as you know, in Warren County, one up in Franklin, one in Lebanon, and one down in Mason. They have their own respective jurisdictions. So anything that happens in Franklin Township, the city of Franklin, goes to the Franklin Municipal Court. Anything that happens in Turtle Creek Township or the city limits of Lebanon goes to the Lebanon Municipal Court. Same thing down south. Anything that happens in the city limits of Mason and Deerfield Township goes to the Mason Municipal Court. Warren County Court covers everything else, and Warren County not covered by those 3 jurisdictions. So we have the remaining 8 townships in Warren County, and then the 10 villages and municipalities like South Lebanon, the city of South Lebanon, that are included in those 8 townships. We're interchangeable parts. Even though I live in the northern half of the county, Judge Fisher lives in the southern half of the county. We don't have to live in the areas that we preside in. And sometimes we do cover for each other when the need arises. Next slide. This slide shows you the court staff. I'm not going to read it to you, but we are very proud of what our court staff does on behalf of the court and the community. I will mention a couple of things there on the left-hand side. Aloysia Kisseberth worked for many, many years in the Domestic Relations Court across the street. She joined us in late 2022 and hit the ground running, and she does a great job as our case assignment commissioner. On the right-hand side, there are two new names there, Madison Wallen and Elaine Stonebreaker. They've joined our court within the last year. Maddie works as one of our probation officers, and Elaine is one of our probation clerks. Next slide. This slide kind of gives you an idea of the number of cases that we see. And of course, any update or briefing about the Warren County Court has to include this slide, right? The number of cases that we see. You can see 2019, we skipped 2020. Do you know why? Obvious reasons are the 2020 pandemic statistics really wouldn't give you a good indication of comparison to the rest of the years there. And then 21, 22, and last year are listed. You can see that the number of traffic citations are down a little bit. We took a look at our historical statistics and saw that 2007, we had over 6,000 traffic citations filed in the Warren County Court. The following year, 2008, we had 5,100, over 5,100. And last year, we only had 2,500, 2,504. It's kind of a roller coaster. It goes up and down, and it's kind of counterintuitive when you think of it, because you think, well, the population of Warren County is growing like crazy. Wouldn't you think there would be more traffic citations? I mentioned this to another audience on another day, and the comeback was, well, maybe once they come into your court once, they won't ever offend again. So who knows what the explanation is for that, but that gives you an idea of the number of cases. Nevertheless, we are busy in the Warren County Court. Next slide. I'm going to talk about a couple of current issues. Judge Fisher, when he gives his presentation, will talk about a couple of more. On this slide, there are two listed. One is distracted driving. Who hasn't seen somebody who's been on their cell phone while they're operating a motor vehicle? And I'm not talking about stopped at a stop sign or a red light. I mean, going down the road. I mean, it's very, very dangerous. And I think we've all been there. Just last week, I was driving on a 2-lane road, and this car was veering over toward me. Last Saturday, I was coming home from Cleveland, and I was on Interstate 71, and in the lane to the right, and I was on the left-hand lane. This lady who was driving, she was like this. I couldn't see the phone, but she was drifting over, almost hit me in my lane. The legislature in Ohio has recognized this over a period of years. In fact, I think this statute or a version of it came out in 2018, has been modified. It was modified again in April of last year. And enforcement began in October of last year. It was like a 6-month grace period, or kind of a warming up period before the enforcement began. And this now is a primary offense. You don't have to have an offense that this piggybacks on. This can be a primary offense for obvious reasons. I mean, you don't want people, and this is something I'm sure the sergeant has seen and his force has seen over there many, many times. As somebody browsing the internet, playing video games, trying to call a telephone number by punching in the numbers while they're driving. I mean, the best solution, if you can afford it, obviously, is to have some voice activated system. There is an exception to the rule. If you punch once or swipe once, that's okay. But then it kind of gravitates to more. So it's best to avoid that completely and turn your phone off. When we see those cases in the Warren County Court, a first offense within 2 years, punishable by up to $150 fine, 2 points on your driver's license. And then that distracted driving conviction never goes away as part of your driving record. If you see a second offense within the 2-year period, obviously there's a graduated scale of punishment, fines of up to $250, 3 points on your driver's license. And then if you get a third one within 2 years, it's 4 points on your driver's license, fine of up to $500. And then we, as sentencing judges, can sentence somebody to have their license suspended for 90 days. So I haven't seen a second or third. I don't know if Judge Fisher has, but I haven't seen a second or third, but I've seen several first offenses. And hopefully those people we see are getting the message. The next current issue here on this slide is entitled strangulation. It's a term of art. It means whenever a person's throat or neck is compressed so that the airway is obstructed. Same thing with the nose or mouth when the airway is obstructed. You know, Ohio became the last state of all 50 states to make strangulation a felony. There's a felony all over all the other states except for Ohio. There are many activists and groups, as you might imagine, asking for that change. Eventually did make the change in April of last year. What that means is a lot of times we'll see those cases in the county court as domestic violence cases, if you have a family or household member as an alleged victim. Now we can see those maybe more in the strangulation area, assume it meets the definition of that. It become a felony, as I mentioned, a family or household member, whenever that happens, whenever there's a substantial risk of physical harm, that's a felony of 4th degree. If there's not a family or household member, a substantial risk of physical harm, it's a felony of 5th degree, but it becomes a felony of the 3rd degree if you have the substantial risk of serious physical harm, a felony of the 2nd degree if it's actually causing serious physical harm. So it remains to be seen on what we do, whether or not some of those strangulation cases will take away from the number of domestic violence cases that we see in our jurisdiction, and time will tell. Next slide, please. This is the last slide that I'm going to brief. Veterans Court docket, Judge Fisher has a specialized docket. My specialized docket that I have is known as the Warren County Veterans Court. Many of you are familiar with it. It's one of the most enjoyable things that I do, because any veteran who comes into our court is found guilty of a probationable offense or pleads guilty to a probationable offense is offered the opportunity to have his or her case transferred to the Warren County Veterans Court for specialized supervision. It's intensive probation lasting a minimum of 1.5 years up to a maximum 5 years, which is the maximum duration that our court can supervise somebody. And then they're given an individualized treatment plan through our treatment team, which I had. And the whole idea is to rehabilitate the veteran so they don't come back into our court or any other criminal justice system. We have 13 currently enrolled. We've graduated 30 since we started. The recidivism rate is much lower than the normal recidivism rate. So we'd like to say that that's a successful operation that we have. I urge you someday, if you want to come out to the court and take a look, it's open to the public, and especially a graduation day, which is a big deal for our Veterans Court. Subject to your questions, that concludes my briefing. Any questions?
If we wanted to attend the Veterans Court, do we just check the website for information?
Well, probably the best thing to do would be to call to make
Okay.
sure. It's usually the first Wednesday and third Wednesdays of the month. But I know like in July, it just ended yesterday. We had no Veterans Court yesterday because there were 5 Wednesdays in July. So to say it's every other Wednesday, that's not true. It's probably best to call. The 695-2411 telephone number is our court administrator, 695-2411.
Got it.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before you move on to the next one, quick thing. It says MOUs. That's a memorandum of understanding. Judge Loxley has a memorandum of understanding with the other municipal courts in the county where they do send people that have committed crimes over in those jurisdictions. They send them to the veterans docket so that they get a consistent treatment that they would in our court. And Judge Loxley and I do send cases to each other. So if we have a veteran in the Area 2 docket, we would certainly refer that over to the veterans court so that they could get the same treatment and help that they would in the Area 1. So even if the issue arises from South Lebanon, just because Judge Loxley is Area 1 judge doesn't mean that they would not be eligible for that veterans court. In fact, they most certainly are. All right, so next slide, please. Other current issues that we're dealing with, expunging and sealing of records. Up to 2 years ago, that meant the same thing. The state legislature decided to amend the definitions, separate it out and give 2 definitions, which actually is important. The sealing of records, what that is someone who has more or less been rehabilitated. If they come in and say, you know, we petition to have our record sealed, and if we grant it, basically what happens is we put in an envelope, seal that envelope, stick that to the side. Very few people can ever look at that again. The record is not totally gone. However, it may not show up in a regular background check. If someone wants to be a teacher, nurse, law enforcement, it would likely show up. But other than that, it has to be a very special circumstance for anyone to be able to see that again. The importance of that is for housing, job opportunities, people that have been rehabilitated, they should be given a second chance. The legislature has acknowledged that. Expunging is a significantly different definition. What that essentially means is that the record is gone. It's as though burn the record, as though the charge never happened. That is limited to circumstances where people have truly been rehabilitated and the crimes themselves are more minor, or at least the allegations, the facts behind those crimes are somewhat on the mitigated side. So the state legislature has done that. It does fall in line with what the state legislature has done over the past decade that both Judge Loxley and I have been on the docket, that they're going more toward understanding people. Good people make bad decisions. We're going to expunge more. We're going to seal more. We're going to offer an opportunity to have more cases done that way. In fact, when we started, there were only a limited number of cases where you could only have 1 felony, 2 misdemeanors. Now it's an unlimited number of misdemeanors that you can file to have expunged. Again, it's for the people that have truly been rehabilitated, but those good people who have made bad decisions, who have corrected themselves, I think it's important. The state legislature believes it's important that they be given a second chance. The second issue that there is the public perception of the court system. I believe, unless you're living under a rock, through the national news, state news, local news, that the court system has taken some hits from the Supreme Court down to the trial courts. Some of it self-inflicted. Not saying that it wasn't, but the perception of the court system is jaded right now. That is important to Judge Loxley and I. It's important to our staff. So what we have done is we made sure that the people who come into our court, no matter who you are, no matter why you are there, you're going to be treated with respect. You're going to be given a fair shake. We can't guarantee the outcome. No one can. But everyone who comes in will know that they've been heard, they've been respected. It's important to us to present that to the community, not just because of who we are, but because Warren County deserves that. So that is one of the issues that is in the forefront of how we operate our courts. The third issue there, the Warren County Clerk of Court. We do have a new Clerk of Court coming in January of 2025. We have had a great relationship with Jim Spaeth. We know Brighton Smith. We look forward to working with Brighton Smith, who will start. I know the election isn't until November, but I know he won the primary and there's no one running against him. So I think we're pretty confident if his wife votes for him, he's in. So we do look forward. We have met with Mr. Smith on a couple of different occasions to discuss several of the issues that we will be facing and dealing with the deputy clerk. So we do look forward to that transfer of power to him and working with him in the future. All right, next slide, please. The last big issue, if you haven't been up there, is we are constructing a new court building. The current building that we are in is the building itself is run down a little bit, has a lot of maintenance issues. When we looked at what it would cost to renovate that building, it was well over $5 million to renovate that building. To build the new one is just shy of double that. And by building the new one, we're actually able to build for the future rather than the present. Our current court size is between 11 and 12,000 square feet. Prior to the sheriff's building the jail and their new offices, we were in 6,700 square feet. The new court building is over 21,000 square feet. It will have 2 full-size courtrooms. It will have a hearing room as well. We are looking at the future. The future is likely going to be full-time judges. We're part-time right now. So we need the 2 full-size courtrooms. But we also made those courtrooms so that we can duplicate the efforts of common pleas if necessary. For example, our jurors, when we have a jury trial, we only need 8. For a common pleas jury, they need 12. So we made sure that the jury box as well as the jury deliberation room would fit a jury for common pleas, so that if something happened to the common pleas building, there was room for them to be able to operate as well. We expect the completion to be fall of 2025. We have been told through the project manager that they are looking at opening up a little bit early. We're cautiously optimistic that that might happen. One of the benefits that we have had with the new building is that our operations have not been affected at all. With that new building, we're able to complete everything we're able to do. With a renovation, we would not have been able to do that. It would have certainly interfered with our ability. So we are very appreciative of the county commissioners for accepting and approving the new building. Next slide, please. That is the drawing of what the new building is going to look like. There are already a couple minor changes. For example, the seal on the left side of that top picture is not likely going to be in that spot. It will be on other side of where it says Warren County Court, with something else on the other side. So that's the rough drawing of what the building will look like. We are excited. All right, next slide, please. Like Judge Loxley in his veterans docket, I have a success court. What that is a mental health docket. So individuals who find their way into our system who have severe mental health needs and oftentimes duly diagnosed with drug and alcohol issues, they will enter the success docket. It is a voluntary docket, so it is up to them. The reason we make it a voluntary docket like the Veterans Court is we want people who want to get the help. Because we are working with a lot of individuals, a lot of groups to offer the help for the individuals to get them out of this system so that they can find housing, employment, education. We help them with all those at the beginning for them to be very successful when they graduate our program and independent, not finding themselves back in the court system. We started that August 1st of 2015. In the 9.5 years, we've had over 20 graduates. We're expecting a few more to graduate this year. We have, it says 18 current participants. We've added 2 more, so we have 20 now. We grew very quickly, and normally we're on Wednesday mornings, but because of the growth, we decided to offer a Thursday evening as well. So our court staff has decided that they are okay, even though I ordered it. They were okay with sticking around for a Thursday evening. That's how much they care about the participants. They're willing to stay around for a couple extra hours. The sheriff's deputies stay around for a couple extra hours for us to complete that, to be able to get the people the help that they need. The importance of the Thursday evening for us has been we have 5 individuals on that docket who work during the day who would not ordinarily be able to participate on a Wednesday at 10. So by opening it up at 5:30 on Thursday, they are able to participate. We have been the benefit of our joint Warren Clinton County Health District, the mental health district. They have done a great job at providing us the resources that we need. We've been given grants through them of over $17,000 each year for the past 2 years to provide housing, to provide for the utilities, to provide transportation for our participants to be able to get where they need to go, to feel the relief of not having to worry about the basics so that they can concentrate on the mental health and move forward. Judge Loxley would tell you, when we have the graduations, we ask the participants to tell us, what did you benefit the most? And almost all of them have said that they've reconnected with family, they've reconnected with friends. It is amazing. So we are excited about giving them the opportunity. The other one is low recidivism. I think you saw on the slide, it's about 11%. The national average for if they're not on a specialized docket is well over 20%. We've cut that in half through these. Next slide, please. Community outreach. So in addition to Judge Loxley coming around, he and I coming around to these meetings to provide a little bit of information what we're doing. We do like to be involved in the community. One of the things that we do is we invite the community in to the court to either participate in some event over at the courthouse or to ask questions, sit in on trials, to watch, make sure that they understand the system, understand what's going on. We have a lot of groups that do that. We've had Boy Scout troops come in. Lebanon High School has a government class that twice a year they come in. They sit down with the judge. Judge Loxley has been the beneficiary of that the past few times. We have anywhere between 4 and 6 kids come in to sit down and talk to us, follow us around for about half a day to really see what's going on. I've had the opportunity to open up the courtroom to 8th graders who are homeschooled to participate in mock trials. So for the last 5 years, we've used the month of April to have mock trials, and watching these 13 and 14-year-olds come in and do the work that we've done is like, okay, maybe I could have been better because they work hard. But in addition to that, Judge Loxley and I do go out into the community. He's very involved in veterans affairs throughout the state of Ohio, and I believe nationwide as well. I've been involved with the school systems. So we try to make ourselves as available as possible to the community. Thank you for your time. We appreciate that. We may have gone a little bit longer than what time you allotted us. People tell us that give us a microphone, we may not shut up. So I'll end at that unless there are any questions.
Does council have any questions or comments?
I thank you both for all the hard work you guys do for our community.
Well,
And,
thank you.
and for the veterans are just that's icing on the cake, and that we appreciate you both.
Well, it's visible around South Lebanon how well you care for your veterans. Well, not just them, you got flags everywhere. But thank you for that. We are honored to be able to do this. And I know all of you feel the same way, to be able to serve the community. So thank you all very much.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Now I'm going to open the floor to the public, and the first one we have is Alexander Sure. I just can't read it. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize there was a sign in.
Could you please give us your name?
Yes,
And your address?
yes. My name is Rick Gibbs. I live at 1204 Trevello Drive, and I am the Riverside Community HOA president. I wanted to talk 2 issues tonight. The first one being the second ordinance, I think was on the list for you to read and hopefully approve, is regarding the no parking signs up in Riverside. There's 2 signs, which the HOA has already acquired the signs that the city would buy. So it'd be no cost to the city, and not to slow the progress. We're just trying to be good community partners here. But we're asking if you could pass it as an emergency, because the location for the 2 signs, we had 2 school bus accidents at due to cars parking right up to the intersection. And with school starting here very soon, we were hoping to get it passed as an emergency so that we could get that up. We know the school's hiring a lot of new drivers, some very inexperienced, and we're just trying to stop any more bus accidents. That's my first issue. So please take that into consideration if that's possible. The second issue we're having is we have 3 phases that have been completed in the Riverside. Phase 4 was submitted to, plans were submitted to South Lebanon in 2019, which it's still vacant land, which is another issue. But what we're having an issue with is it's becoming a dumping ground. There's couches, refrigerators, bed mattresses, box springs. We're looking for some direction on that. Is there anything the city can do on that? It's becoming a trash dump.
Yeah, I'll talk with Sergeant Adams and see what any kind of solutions we can come up with. I don't know. You have to, if it was illegal dumping, I guess they'd have to be caught.
We didn't know if the developer of the land, the owner of the land has to clean that up
Yeah,
or.
we'll discuss it and see if we can come up with some
Okay.
solution to that.
Okay,
Your concerns are duly noted.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the next person we have is Lisa Wilson. Thank you. Lisa, could you please state your name and
Yes, ma'am.
address for the record, please? And
My name is Lisa Wilson, 572 West 22 and 3, and I'm speaking as a board member for the South Lebanon Historical Society. While we have a letter in the front of our request of notifying you of our intent to seek a renewal of our lease, but as I'm reading, you can go through and look at some of the pictures of some of the things that we've done. 5 years ago, South Lebanon Historical Society entered into a lease agreement with the city of South Lebanon for our home at 99 North High Street. We gave the building a much needed deep cleaning, a fresh coat of paint, and I think that's the first little thing on the first of the pages. And settled proudly to display and preserve artifacts from South Lebanon's history. Since then, we have expanded and deepened our ties and commitment to the community in ways we could never have imagined. The pandemic was difficult for everyone, but none more than the elderly. Seeing a need, we expanded our Christmas in the Village task to include the residents of Union Village. We gifted each with a blessing box, which included warm socks, hard to find necessities like paper towels, toilet paper, hand sanitizer, etc. A woman who had crocheted Afghans while sitting bedside with her ailing father gifted them to us, and we included them in the boxes. We consulted with Chief Napier and learned that fresh fruit is the most frequently requested item for those on fixed income, which is really sad. They just can't afford fresh fruit. After putting out a call to the community, it was immediately answered by the Allen sisters. They turned the Historical Society into an assembly line and made beautiful baskets containing fresh fruits, homemade jellies. The jellies they made those, candy and other delicious goodies. During the pandemic, we partnered with Kings Point Community Church to pick up and deliver shared harvest boxes to the elderly who had no transportation or ability to lift and carry the boxes. Since then, the Historical Society has started a yearly tradition of hosting a Christmas party for Union in the Village residents. They are treated to singing and games with the dancing elves, gifts, boar's head sandwiches, baked goods, and the biggest hit is pizza. When we did this, so many of them said, I haven't had pizza in 10 years because I can't afford it. And so the Chubby's pizza or the Little Caesars pizza that we bring is such a hit for them. Many of the residents stated they hadn't had pizza in years because they couldn't afford it. The residents said prior to our visit, they felt that the town had forgotten about them. Because of this, we added a Valentine's party, which is now a yearly tradition. The resident manager confided that the only time many of the residents come out of their apartments to socialize is when we visit. And we hope to add a movie night with them with popcorn and candy to our yearly itinerary. The 4th of July celebration. Most families attend a 4th of July celebration of some sort. South Lebanon's is probably one of the best. We work hard to co-host a fun, family-friendly event with music and a variety of vendors as a prelude to the spectacular fireworks show provided by the city of South Lebanon and Union Township.
When the party is over, we walk the venue and pick up all the trash, which avoids use of the city workers and resources to make sure that the park is ready for use the following morning. South Lebanon Elementary reunion. The Historical Society hosts a yearly reunion for the students and faculty of South Lebanon Elementary, where folks can bring photos, stories, memories, and laughter to share. Few communities have an elementary school that connects generations the way South Lebanon's does. It's really, really a unique feature and a legacy that we are honored to be a part of and foster. The Veterans Banner Program. The Veterans Banner Program has grown into 212 banners to date and may be the crowning jewel of the Historical Society's projects. Banners of those who have served, who serve or have served our country in the military transcend generations and link the past to the present. This brings history into life in a very personal way. The Historical Society provides the means to procure and maintain the banners, which programs in many other communities lack. I recently went to my uncle's funeral in Mount Orab, and theirs look terrible. They're tattered, they're faded. They have a nice banner program, but they don't have any means to maintain it or replace them as they age out. Some of the original banners have aged to the point where they need to be replaced. We have been able to secure donations for replacements if a family is without the means. Without this mechanism to monitor and maintain the banners, they would eventually fall into disrepair and the program disappear. The banners unify the community from citizens to the City Public Works Department, who take great pride in getting them up for the summer display for Memorial Day every year. Food pantry collection. Through the Historical Society, South Lebanon can boast that it is perhaps one of the only communities that has an event dedicated solely to collecting staples and other goods for our community, for our local food pantry. While we collect donations for King's local food pantry at other events, the food truck rally was designed specifically to benefit the food pantry. Donations to the food pantry dropped during the pandemic, which was also a time when the need soared for our neighbors. We brainstormed to come up with a means to increase donations and decided the food truck rally would achieve that, as well as provide a much needed event for food truck vendors who were completely shut down and without income due to the pandemic restrictions. We worked tirelessly with the Warren County Health Department to meet all the restrictions and requirements. And I can tell you that people came up and asked me, how did you guys do that? How did you skirt around? And I said, we didn't skirt around. We just worked really hard with the health department to make sure that we had the signs up and everything and had the trucks spaced so that people weren't around each other. That was a huge effort. We did not skirt around the restrictions at all. We worked with them to make sure that that happened. The music and food vendors provided one of the only bright spots during a very bleak time, and as was evident on the faces of those who came to simply enjoy being out of their houses to help neighbors by bringing a donation. Most of the other collection sites, such as churches and schools, were shut down during that time. We were blessed to be able to provide a much needed boost to the food pantry vendors and the community. Since then, we have worked with Tracy Smith to identify specific needs to secure donors for holiday meals. The additional donors enabled Tracy to expand the number of families who received food for their holiday tables this past year. Union Township Easter egg hunt. While not part of our lease agreement, assisting with the Easter egg hunt has become a community outreach event for the Historical Society. It is an important partnership forged with the Union Township Fire Department. We secure candy to fill thousands of eggs, and there are pictures of those thousands of eggs that are in there. Volunteers meet at the Historical Society and spend hours stuffing eggs. This year, we expanded to include 300 eggs containing plastic gold coins that the finder could use to purchase a variety of toys, stuffed animals, candy, art supplies, etc., which we donated. Many of the children come from kinship families or other modest means who rarely get to enjoy buying a special toy or treat of their own. So they could bring this up and come to the table and pick something out that they wanted. Their joy cannot be measured. Notably, the Easter egg hunt is structured in such a way to be mindful to include children and young adults with special needs. Many of them find large-scale events overwhelming and overstimulating. Several parents tearfully thanked us for providing their child with the opportunity to participate. This reflects in a positive way on the city of South Lebanon as a whole. Additional outreach. In addition to the above, we host a number of collections and bake sales for those who find themselves in emergency needs. We are proud to provide a variety of year-round opportunities for high school students to get their community service hours in for graduation. The Historical Society has become a natural go-to for those who want to share, donate, and preserve important family and historical artifacts so that they can be enjoyed by others. Many residents lack the confidence or process by which to bring concerns to the forefront. One of the many things longtime residents of South Lebanon are rightfully proud of is their Appalachian heritage. Historically, this has included a distrust of the system or government as a whole. The high visibility of the Historical Society and its members, along with our welcoming and consistent outreach, enables us to act as a bridge between the community and the city. Needs and concerns that might otherwise go unnoticed or unspoken can be safely shared and in turn brought to the attention of city officials. And I can tell you this happened to me today. Our court pays for a woman, Crystal, to come in, and all she does, she works for an agency and she finds drug treatment programs for those who need them, who don't have insurance or whatever. And she said, I live in South Lebanon. She said, did you say you were with the Historical Society? And I said, yes. And she said, I live in South Lebanon and I would really like to reach out to somebody, but I haven't found the right person because I have a service that I would like to offer to people. Do you know anything about Bernie's place? Do you know? And I said, I know exactly who I can hook you up with. She would not have, had she not heard, she said the Historical Society, had that not been an avenue, she would just sit and not know, probably not reach out. And she has huge gifts to offer to the community. Future endeavors we look forward to bring to fruition are a cookbook with recipes submitted by South Lebanon residents, a cemetery project to document the lives of those buried there, especially our veterans, and recording the oral history with longtime residents. It is the desire of the South Lebanon Historical Society to renew our lease with the city of South Lebanon. We add to the uniqueness of South Lebanon. It is our intention to increase and expand our partnership with the city and its residents. We fill a niche and a need unable to be filled by other organizations. A high school senior exploring career options was recently advised to abandon her desire to become a high school history teacher because, quote, and this is a client of my daughter's, in the next 10 years, it is probable that history will disappear from high school curriculum because it's becoming less relevant. We at the Historical Society strongly disagree. The South Lebanon Historical Society, in partnership with the city of South Lebanon, will continue to work to protect the rich heritage we share and act as a link to the past so that it can be embraced by future generations. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to say, first, Sharon, thank you for your coat donations. We have so far collected 100 coats for the children to give out at the Christmas in the Village. Unfortunately, or fortunately for them, Ed and Melissa, who have been our Santa, and we had a great Santa, retired and moved to Florida. So my husband and I bought the suits from them before they moved. My husband is growing out his beard.
And it's all white.
And it's all white. And we are going to be Santa and Mrs. Claus this year. All right.
Thank you for your concerns, and they're duly noted. Moving on to business now. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to close the floor. Was there anybody else who wanted to speak? But you were not signed up. I'm closing the floor now. Thank you. Moving on to new business, emergency ordinance 2024-15, authorizing participation in an opioid settlement agreement with the Kroger Company. Is there any discussion? Any comments from council members? Hearing none, I need a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule and a second.
Brenda Combs, motion to suspend the 2 reading rule.
Linda Allen, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
I need a motion to adopt by title only and a second.
Linda Allen, I'll make a motion to adopt by title only.
Sharon Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now, speaking to the ordinance 2024-16 concerning Trevillo Drive and Brant Place. Jerry, can we, since our attorney is not here this morning, or this evening, I'm gonna throw this into Jerry's wheelhouse.
I mean, I would recommend that you do the first reading tonight. If you wanted to do the emergency at the next meeting, that would be the 16th, I think, or 15th.
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 So
So my thing is. bring the
could you
map
turn
up.
your,
I'm sorry. Jerry, can you bring the map up? Let's look at this, because I see what he's talking about. You're in a short curve for a bus to get around.
It's sometimes a little impossible to grab.
there's a map in your packets if you have your, if you have your tablets on, you can find it in the.
This is the location right here, right through this corner at Trevillo and Brant. I believe it was in was it February or January. They had a bus. Yeah. It was a
There's
park.
been more than one, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in this area here, there was a car parked, and if I remember right, the bus sideswiped the car on that last occasion.
On the second one, the first one, we actually have all the.
So what you're saying is you're wanting it on which side here? I'm trying to get my. Would you please?
Yes. We're asking for the one sign to be here to prevent people from parking. Second sign. I think, Bus drivers, so they're trying to hire people that probably have never driven school buses. So I don't do
So what we're going to do this evening is we're going to enter it into the record as the first reading. And then the next council meeting, we will come back and vote on it as an emergency, and it will go into effect immediately.
So let me ask you this. School starts right around the 14th or 15th. It's going to take you a day to get the signs in, correct?
We have the sign.
They have
Right, but you have them, you just don't have them installed.
We're gonna install.
Yeah, right.
We would install 'em.
Because, and the reason we come to the city is if we install them,
Then you're liable.
we're, well, they're not legal. So you
Right.
guys
I see what you're saying.
We're installing that.
Yeah, we also have the poles. And same poles you see, these are stop signs, speed limit signs.
I personally don't have a problem doing this as an emergency, but no, I really don't.
I think safety first, we should do the emergency. Before school starts.
Can I make a suggestion? Since
Yes,
our
please.
solicitor isn't here, what if we schedule a special meeting? Won't that accomplish basically the same thing?
He's not going to be back for 2 weeks. He won't be back until the 13th.
I don't know.
Appreciate that.
It's a unanimous. I think probably there's a emergency.
Well, if council consents,
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do it as an emergency, it's a unanimous decision because you have to have 5.
okay.
I think you can amend.
Well,
that.
let's vote on that, okay? First, step one.
I make-
We want to do, does the council want to vote ordinance 2024-16 as an emergency ordinance?
I'll make a motion.
Let
to-
Tina,
No, she goes.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and make the motion.
I think we do. So I'm going to make a motion to change this from the first reading to an emergency ordinance on the ordinance 24-16.
Brenda Combs, second it.
No. She needs a second.
Yeah. Slow down. Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Okay, so I need a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule and a second.
Mary Ann Harrison, I make a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule.
Sharon Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Now I need a motion to adopt by title only and a second.
I make a motion to adopt by title only.
Mary Ann Harrison, I second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs, Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Okay, the emergency reading is establishing a no parking regulation and authorizing no parking signage on sections of Trevillo Drive and Brant Place. That is what you just voted on. Motion carries. Emergency Resolution 2024-29, authorizing a grant agreement with the Ohio EPA for the purchase of equipment in the amount of $10,000. Is there any discussion from council? Hearing none, I need a motion to suspend the 2 reading rule and a second.
Combs, motion to remove the,
To suspend.
To suspend
There you
the
go.
2 reading rule.
Karen Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
I need a motion to adopt by title only and a second.
Linda Allen, I'll make a motion to approve.
Combs, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Yes, okay. Motion carries. Thank you. I got lost in my notes. I need a motion and a second to approve the invoices.
Brenda Combs, motion to approve the invoices.
Karen Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Motion carries. I need a motion for approval of the minute meetings for the regular meeting, July 18th, 2024, if there are no corrections or additions.
I make a motion to approve. Linda Allen.
Combs, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, that's all for the business tonight. We don't have any old business to go through. I just wanted to thank Jerry and Tina and all of our staff. We've been working hard on many issues and moving many things forward, such as our street paving program and other issues. Those will be ready for public comment in a few weeks. To my committee chairs, or if you're on a committee, I want you to, if you can, please have a meeting of your committees to write your wish list up for next year's budget. So just let us know when you would like to have your meetings and we'll get them scheduled. Our Warren County Health District. This is really kind of fantastic. I have to get my stuff here. They are going to be here on September the 10th from 9:00 a.m. till 10 o'clock or 1 o'clock p.m. here at 10 North High Street. And they're doing family health visits for ages 13 and older with a nurse practitioner. And all ages can get immunizations at this. So please utilize this. For council and our staff, we have the upcoming Warren County Municipal League Dinner, August 21st. The dinner meeting will be at Shaker Run Golf Course, and Matt Nolan, our auditor, will be speaking to us about the information on the 2025 property tax increases. So if you'd like to go, just let me know. And that's all I have for this evening. And I'm going to go to our Director of Finance, Tina.
I'm gonna pass these to you for signature, and then we'll stop to get some things from Andrew.
Okay.
In front of you this evening, and also included in your packet, you have a flyer about fraud prevention training. This is a new requirement that our state auditor's office has issued to all local and county governments throughout the whole state. Every employee must take this fraud training. It's an 8-minute video, every employee and every council member. And once that has been done, it's a requirement for every new hire. And then it's a requirement to renew that every 4 years. So I've been tasked with keeping track of that information. So when the auditors come, I can show them proof that we have done our training. So I ask if you, council, if you could there's a QR code on that flyer. You can open it right up directly for your training right there. Or there's, with the memo, there was also an address given to you to go to the state auditor's website. Once the training's over, you'll get a certificate of completion. Please print that and you can either email it to me or hand it to me at the next meeting. We're required to have our training done by the end of September. Sooner than later would be great, just to get this off of one of those tasks that are going to be outstanding. There's also an additional piece of paper there that's an acknowledgement of the receipt of the auditor state's fraud reporting system information. I just need you to write your name and sign that acknowledgement form also, and we can keep that on file. Are there any questions regarding that training or what we need to do? Okay. Speaking of the auditors, we finished our audit of 2023 financial statements. Our auditors have finished up the audit. You may have already, or you should be getting shortly, a draft of the audit report sent directly to you from them. It is a draft. It's not to be shared until it's been finalized with the state auditor's office, but council members should be getting a draft shortly. We are working on planning a post-audit meeting with the auditors to go over those reports. But I want to just let you know that this is the first year that we've had a completely clean audit report since 2006. That's as far as I can go back. So I can't tell you what happened in 2005, but I can go back to records of 2006. And what that means is that they had found no material misstatements in our financial statements. So we prepare our books, they get audited, everything was recorded properly. And they found no internal control weaknesses in our accounting procedures. And finally, no instances of non-compliance with the Ohio Revised Code laws. So there's laws that we have to comply with, and they do testing on that with budgetary compliance and things like that. And they found no non-compliance. So I'm very happy about that report. And like I said, if you haven't gotten an email yet, it should be coming out shortly because they just finished this up about a week ago. Okay. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. And I'd like to say congratulations to you and your staff for all the hard work that took to get.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, our administrator is up next.
All right, I'll keep it kind of short. Just to go through some of the items we've got coming up. Linda and I will be meeting with Congressman Landsman next Monday for the review of the community project funding we've received for the community center. That's over $800,000 we received for that. Next Tuesday is the bid opening for Forest Avenue. This is reconstruction of Forest from High Street to Section Street. The gas main relocation has been going on, and I think they've completed today, I believe. So that's what the purpose of that project's for, is to work with the reconstruction project. Mason Moore Mill Grove, this phase 2, scheduled to start on the 12th of August. Main traffic will be maintained on Mason Moore Mill Grove, but there'll be some limited access, lane closures throughout the day. I'll leave the movie night to you if you want to talk about that. Broadway Storm Project at the intersection of Broadway and section is scheduled to start September 3rd. That's the last update I've got on that. And also I've received update from River Creek Lofts. They're planning on breaking ground early September. So once we get some official dates on that, we'll get that out to you guys. At the health department van, let's see. That's pretty much it. I think the guys have been working hard, trying to keep things clean and caught up with the grass and stuff. They've been The sunflower field's been growing fairly, it's almost ready to bloom, I believe, so.
There are some blooms. I've been down there.
Yeah. So we've got, they've cut some trails through it so that folks can walk through it this year and take pictures. Unfortunately, all the blooms are heading, I think, facing the east, so.
Sometimes they turn. They do with
Yeah.
the sun. They'll move with as the sun goes down and whatnot.
That's it.
Thank you, Jerry, and I want to thank Jerry and all of the staff, all of his staff for all the hard work that they continue to do. Our law director is on vacation somewhere in the tropics. Sergeant Adams.
I'll keep it short as well. I just want to say that we had our first women's self-defense course here last Monday. We had 9 participants, which was great size. I wanted to thank the deputies that helped put it on, Deputy McKay, Deputy Smith, Deputy Halsey. They were wonderful. Did a great job. Hopefully in the future, we will have more as interest and time allows. Those deputies are assigned to school resources, so they're getting ready to hit their busy time prepping for school. So we'll keep that in mind, but I'd like to do, if the interest is there, additional classes in the future. Other than that, I really don't have much. Does anybody have anything for me?
I want to thank you for bringing that to our community, and I posted it and I posted a picture with Karen in action, in action, and people are interested. So we have the interest there. It's just getting it, zeroed in with the times. But I thought they did a fabulous job. I know, really, really appreciate it. And thank you for all your hard work and keeping us safe.
Thank you. I'll make sure to pass it on to them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sergeant Adams, and your staff as well. Okay, council members and committee members or chairs, I want you to speak to anything that you would like to this evening, and we'll start with Council Member Spicer.
All I have this evening is I should have the final draft of the city seal at the next meeting.
Thank you. Council Member Carmack.
I have nothing to report.
Council Member Harrison.
Again, I want to recognize our wonderful sheriff's department to bring that to the community. And I hope that you take it back to your area too, because women's self-defense is so important. And, anyone, well, women, men, rather, it teaches, gives us some tools to think about that I didn't even think about, So, like for example, I don't know. I had a taser. They said, well, let's see your taser. I didn't even know how to turn it on. He goes, so you'd be providing the weapon too.
You'd be saying, turn this on for me.
So there's things that you just don't, I advise everybody to take it because it was very informative. And thank you, everybody. That's it. That's all I have.
Thank you. Council Member Allen.
So we can talk about movie night. August the 17th, we will be showing movie night, and Linda has a poster. I had some printed out and I'll get them up. I think Brenda and Mary Ann and all of them have shared on their website, and you guys's. I want to thank Brenda. She's been a great help. She reached out to the First Baptist Church, and they're going to provide the hot dogs and the ices and the popcorn till it runs out. So that's a great thing. But contact your people, bring a blanket, bring your coolers, bring your sodas. And this is a really, really great movie. I've talked to so many people and they think it's really, there it is. Migration is the name of the movie. I think it's very, Jerry actually said he took his grandkids to see it and he enjoyed it. So. And the other thing I want to talk about is the horse parade. We'll be meeting with those people in one of our committee meetings. I'll get the committee together and we'll meet with those people to sit down and get some of that together. And we'll also meet with the township as well. Linda and I met with them and Jerry the other day and trying to get some of the avenues that we want to use together for safety reasons and precautions. It needs to be, you know, a little bit better than, I think we had a little issue on the 4th of July, but we'll get those committees together as well. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Linda. Councilmember Combs.
I was wondering if I could use that space, that office, office at the office for food collection. That was
The office at the office.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Left, right.
at the Historical Society. When you first come in, the glass doors, there's the office where Amy used to sit and take the water bill and all that stuff. Can I use that again to collect food for the Christmas baskets?
I don't see why not.
Okay, I always get the mayor's approval.
Oh, okay. Yes, you may.
Awesome. Because we started out with 55 families and ended up doing 77. And the Historical Society, we all gather it up and to make sure that they get a Christmas basket. Also, I'd like to thank Sergeant for all the help and everything you do to keep us all safe. And also Union Township for keeping us safe and well. And your guys are awesome. And thank you to our amazing city workers. I've been seeing them out working so hard. And the poor guys out in this heat, I mean, those, they do good. They do. Yeah,
Is that it?
Mhm.
Thank you, Brenda. Here, are there any other concerns or questions from council? Hearing none, I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? Any opposed? I didn't think so.